Tolu Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Yeah, Detroit. Destination restoration. Yeah, it's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for that confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go for stuff. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Tearing back out the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Vision new I never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Feel the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for that confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Deuce and Boss Show. As you guys see, Boss is back with us here for sure. I see y'all in the comments asking for her. She has returned. Boss, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Deuce and I were talking and we were like, we should just talk it out with everybody. So glad to have you guys here. Excited to hear your inputs, your thoughts.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. You can let them know what's going on, Deuce.
Yeah, man. Guys, this is an emergency episode. All kind of information is coming in as we get it. So if you guys have any information live here, go ahead and drop it in the comments for us or drop it in the chat and we will be sure to get to that for sure. Guys, we got some breaking news, man. And I was thinking earlier, I know everything King is somewhere doing cartwheels right now, jumping for joy right now.
I can name a lot of people.
A lot of people. Yeah, for sure. But guys, the news is official. Caris LeVert is no longer a Detroit Piston. The Detroit Pistons have traded Caris LeVert and 2 second-round picks to the Milwaukee Bucks for Taurean Prince and Gary Harris per Shams. And from what I'm hearing, this is a 6-team trade, which is crazy. We'll get to that a little bit later. But initial thoughts to this. I already know that a lot of people are happy about this move for sure. We know Caris LeVert was signed for 2 years, I believe $28 million. And he was set to make $14 million in the second year of that deal next season. And they bring in Taurean Prince and Gary Harris. The first thing that came to my mind, the first thing I went to was the contracts. That was the first thing I went to. I saw, Boss, that they're basically going to be saving about $7 million this upcoming season. All 3 guys are in the final year of their deal, right? Between Caris, Taurean, and Gary Harris. They're all in the final year coming up. But as I mentioned, Caris is at $14 million next year. I think 14.8, and I think Gary Harris and Taurean Prince, they have like identical contracts. I think they're making the same exact amount of money, like 3.8. So that's about $7 million next year combined. So about $7 million the Pistons are saving next season. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what the first reaction was, because I think a lot of people already like, that's what we get. This is who it is, but I think it was mostly a money move. And I've already seen, someone bring it up here real quick. Let me find it. Michael, someone is going to get cut though. Maybe Chaz or Tolu. No, I think it'd be one of these guys. They're only worth 3.8 million. So here's the thing. It's better than, everyone's asking for Caris to be off the roster. Mostly everyone, I would say. even if they liked Caris like me, it's a little bit time to move on. I don't think he's a great fit for the team as it is. But it's better to waive $3.8 million guy than it is to waive a $15 million guy. That's a huge chunk of money. So I do think that I personally don't think we have both of these guys on our roster come the start of the season.
Next season.
I think we have one of them, if anything. I do think it would be Prince, to be honest.
Okay.
But I don't know much about Gary Harris. I know a little bit of his Magic days. I know more about Taurean Prince because as someone who loved Tayshaun Prince, when I first heard of him, it just stuck with me. And I just ended up subconsciously following his career and his stats a little bit. So, but the move is, to me, more of a stepping stone than a finality. And it definitely helped the Pistons in areas, like you said, like saving money. We apparently got a trade exception that matches Stu's contract. So that's huge. If that's true, like you said, more info is coming in. I'm a little bit always lost on the money, salary, trade exceptions. What's what, you know?
Yeah.
But
I'm
just
not
in
an
terms
expert
of,
either with the contract, so y'all can let us know for sure.
Yeah.
The cap
And
works
just in terms of, I'm not mad at the move based on who we got. And I do think we got them for the reason of salary.
Yeah, the Pistons are definitely not done. I mean, we talked about it before, how they had about 8 guards on their roster, and now so they move one out and brought in, Taurean Prince is a forward, so they still have about 8 guards with Gary Harris here. So I could see that being the case. They did both. I was also thinking too, you made a good point about one of them getting waived, possibly. That's definitely possible. But they both, if they were to both stay, which they probably won't, they both are good 3-and-D guys, right? Both of those guys can play good defense, and they both, I think last year, Taurean Prince shot 43% from 3. And I think Gary Harris shot 41% from 3. So even regardless of which one of those 2 guys we end up keeping will give us more defense and more perimeter shooting. But the problem is that we still have 8 guards on this roster. So it definitely needs to be another move on the way. I don't know if it's a move. I don't see in the speculation time. I don't know if this is to clear cap space, potentially to make more room for a possible Jalen Duren extension. Maybe they've kind of agreed to, a happy medium, kind of met in the middle. I know the rumored amount was about $35 million for Jalen Duren that was offered, and that seems to be where they're kind of far apart. So maybe they're looking to kind of meet in the middle. Maybe this extra money gives them the option to go ahead and do that. What are your thoughts on that, boss? You think that's a possibility?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I think it is, I think I'm pretty much with you guys. Thomas, Roro, I think you said that they're 34 and 32. They're 30 and 31. They are older.
Okay.
I think that they were assets that the Bucks also were willing to give up. And Taurean Prince, the Bucks were a mess last year, and I would even call them a mess the year before that. But he was a crucial part of their lineup, very steady for them. So I think even Bucks fans might have a little bit of trouble saying bye to him. But I do think, like you said, there is going to be some clearance. And, I think personally, if I had to choose, again, I don't think both of these guys are here on the roster based on who we have and who we'd rather, start the season with already. And I do think it is prep for another move, like you said, just more cap. A lot of people in the comments, you guys are talking about Duren, if it's money for Duren, that's a possibility. But I think that they kind of have an idea of what they're paying Duren, and he knows as well. And now it's just a matter of getting it done. And if this trade is finally finalized, that means the Isaiah Stewart one, because this is apparently it's a 16 trade. And this involved the John Collins acquisition, getting rid of Stu, and then both of these guys. So that just being finalized might just help us make our next move as well. So I don't think that it's enough money to necessarily say that we can finally pay Jalen Duren. I think it's enough money to still bring in someone that I think just another starter. I think we're going to bring in a starter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A new guy for our starting lineup.
Gotcha.
And I think just for me, again, is Gary Harris, is he a guard, a shooting guard, or a point guard?
Yeah. He's a shooting guard. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's why I feel like the only reason that he would stay over Prince, if it had to be one, is because of just a veteran presence. Again, I was all for Javon Carter because I was like, maybe we need a vet to help behind Cade and Danis if we're going to bring in, a point guard. But I think, Taurean being a small forward, it's not necessarily a 4, but it is a bigger presence on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, with the acquisition, Taurean played starter minutes last year. So we now have 4 players on our team that played starting minutes that can shoot above 40% from 3, or that average above 40% from 3. While Gary Harris does have a higher 3-point average, he didn't play enough minutes, I think, to qualify for that. But now we have the most, like, we asked for shooting and we got it. Is it flashy names? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, Isaiah Joe is pretty flashy to me, but like, if that's what we're looking for, we already, then that job is done. And now it's just kind of narrowing it down and figuring out. I do think that we're making room for one big move that isn't the JD signing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Trey Murphy move. Who knows? I'm holding out hope for that. I've been holding out hope for that, obviously.
I know.
But good points there. You're right, because between Torian Prince, Gary Harris, John Collins, and Isaiah Joe, you're right. We do have 40 plus percent shooters from 3, which is a good
I guess he
thing,
didn't play
for
that
sure.
much this season, but the Bucks were all over the place. So
yeah. Let's get to some comments. What you guys think here? Boss is here. Prince is definitely a better shooter and defender. So yeah, let's get to some comments and then we'll come to that real quick. I'm gonna get to this one here. What up, Zell? Zell says trade was for cap space and an elite wing defender shooter, paving the way for a Jalen Duren resigning. Harris to be bought out though. Okay, I can see that for sure.
that's kind of
That's kind of what makes me wonder now, because what does this mean, boss, for Ron Holland? Because I was hoping that Ron Holland would get more opportunity this year. We know that the shooting has been an issue for him, at least as far as being consistent with it. But now we're bringing in a defensive guy who can shoot the basketball. So it just makes me wonder what the plan is for Ron, because we've already got to start starting. Ron is the backup, or should be the backup as far as my opinion.
Lou as well.
Right.
It could just be some vets to help. Again, like, would you rather bring in, I mean, I know everyone would rather have a younger team, which we do, but now we're kind of bringing in that experience. Torian Prince also has, I think he was on the championship Bucks team. Was he not? Or did he come after?
Good question. I think he came after.
But he at least has playoff experience, because the Bucks were pretty hot there for a while. So it's just a guy with experience that I think I don't see. I mean, maybe Ron it's his birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday, Ron. What is he, 21?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Guys, Ron turned 21. The ripe old age of 21 years old today.
That's
People
crazy.
forget how young he is, man. Go ahead.
So, and I do think, and the way that Trajan talks about him, I think that he wants to retain Ron. I think we all do. But bringing in someone like this means, I guess, not really rush development. But I also would still choose Ron over Torian right now.
I think I would too. Yeah, to be honest.
But it gives a little bit of wiggle room. And that's kind of where guards and, now, well, we still don't really have, we have Collins at the 4, but we really don't have a backup 4. We have small forwards.
Yeah.
With
Javonte should not be playing the backup 4 next season.
Right.
Full time. Yeah.
So if those 3, if we get 3 deep at every position, I'm pretty happy. And so right now we're just a little bit, 6 deep at the guard. So he's got to kind of narrow that down, get a little more 4s in here. But that is a good question. I just don't think, I do think that this was just more about salary cap. And if we find a place for these guys, then we find a place. And if we don't, we still made, I think, a better financial decision. And Caris LeVert, you guys know that I was high on him when the season started. I really wanted him to work out. Yes.
Yeah. We both
and he went through, he had the vertigo, he had injury. He did get hotter as the season went on. We saw him start to turn it up in the playoffs, which was big for us. I personally just don't think the way that he plays is just it just doesn't fit with the direction that we're going at and with our team. I hope that he finds a fit with the Bucks. I loved Cavs Caris. Hawks Caris had a little bit of a fall off, and then he came here, and I was hoping that I was like, oh, the Hawks were a bad fit. We're a little bit of a bad fit.
Yeah.
I still think Caris can do great things in this league, but I think the majority of people wanted him off the team. And that's just kind of where I'm. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I agree. It was the consistency as far as availability and production just wasn't there.
Agreed.
We talked about it. Like, he was dealing with the vertigo, like you mentioned. He was dealing with the leg injuries. The time he was dealing with soreness, and we talked about it all the time. It's like in the playoffs, you need to have guys who are available, right? And that's the most important thing. And then that's not even counting just the production, because he wasn't available to be on the court. He wasn't able to get into a consistent rhythm either. So, and like you mentioned, the style of play I don't think it fit the way we all thought it might. I thought he was going to be more important than Duncan Robinson before the season started last year.
Same.
Because he's a combo guard.
I
I
loved
thought he
him.
might be
Yeah.
that ball handler a little bit and then
Yeah.
be able to get off ball too. It just never really materialized in the way that we wanted it to. And I think we saw it pretty early, despite him not being available. It just wasn't a natural fit. Guys like Kevin Huerter, who didn't play much, seemed to fit much better in the Pistons system. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah, right away. I think that's the issue is
Yeah.
that Caris seems to maybe be a guy that needs a little bit more time and a little like he needs time to transition, and the
Yep.
injuries just got in the way of that.
Mhm.
It was just too clunky. He didn't play back to backs for a while. He didn't even get consistent minutes for a while.
Yep.
And then when he did, he just wasn't able to find his rhythm out of, he'd have had one good game out of 3 kind of stuff, never a great game. While Herter
Yeah.
kind of just hopped right in and jumped right in. So I think that
Right.
was great that you brought him up because a lot of people are questioning his contract as well. But it's
Yeah.
very obvious that he fit better faster.
Mhm.
So imagine what
Yeah.
he can do with more of that time. So that's just, I think it's all we can do right now, guys, is predict. But I would say, I'm 99% sure this isn't what we end with.
No, there's
So,
no way. We have
yeah.
8 guards and no backup power forward. We're not
Yes.
done.
And
And
like
there's
I
still a
mentioned,
need to upgrade the starting group too. Go ahead.
if we buy out one of these guys or waive them, or we can even
Mhm.
include them in a package, or somebody else might want them for cheap and we get a second round pick back. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's better than, everyone's saying there's no market for Caris. He's the hardest to get rid of. Well, we got rid of him and we saved money in the process. And I think
Yeah.
that that's one of the best case scenarios in terms of
It's just-
that. And then it is just easier to buy out 3.8 million than it is to buy
Yeah.
out 15 million. So
Yeah, it seems like I don't think Caris had much of a market, to be honest. It's almost like they had to attach the second round picks just to, I don't want to say get rid of them, but just to
He's
make
going
them
to a
to sweeten the deal.
he's going to a team that's in a complete rebuild. Complete
Yeah.
100% rebuild. I also
100%.
think this is, and I've been off this boat for a while since I saw how he acted towards his former team. But I think it also kills the hero, because if Hero was involved, we just made a
Boss
trade
was
with that team.
She was so nervous about the
I
Pistons
was
bringing
getting,
Tyler
I
Hero
was
to this.
getting, I was getting on board with Hero, and then I saw how he acted towards his former teammates.
Yeah.
And then how he
Bam.
acted towards that one fan and saying you're acting like a female. It's like, okay, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm a female. I'm rational, sir. But
Nation don't want that kind of energy.
no one does. And so I think that kind of just nixes that idea as well. Although who knows? The door's still open. This was part of a 6-team trade, guys, which we can try to get more info on. If you guys have any more info as well, Deuce and I kind of just popped on just to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We know you guys are going to be looking for us, so we wanted to come on here and at least talk about it. Boss, from Keith Smith, he says, factoring in, this is from Twitter or X, factoring in the reported contracts for John Collins, Kevin Huerter, and Javonte Green, and the Gary Harris and Taurean Prince acquisitions, I've got the Pistons at about $42.8 million under the luxury tax. That's enough room to give Jalen Duren a 25% of the cap max without going into the tax. So to me, it sounds like that may be what it's for. It sounds like they may be getting closer and closer to an agreement or understanding or meeting in the middle as far as what that contract should be for JD. That's kind of what I think is going on here. I still think after that, if we do bring JD back, I still think we need to make another move, if I'm being real. But I think this may have been geared more so towards making sure that gets done. And I think once that get done, we might see another move happen after that. We'll see. But that's just my thoughts, just from what this is saying here.
I think we have to. I think the assets being asked for certain players, like I see this on KD talking here as well. And here's, guys, KD is an all-star, obviously. He's going to be expensive. A lot of people, I would say most people are okay with Trajan sending 3 firsts for Trey Murphy that I've talked to, the Trey Murphy stands. Would you guys be okay with sending 3 firsts for KD? Is it?
No.
Because that's going to be his asking price because he's an all-star. So I just want to ask, because he is 38. I think he's incredible. But guys, like, I went to a Nuggets game against the Rockets, and I was so excited to see KD. I was by the tunnel with all the fans. He came out after warmups with his hoodie all the way zipped up. Didn't want no attention.
Mm-hmm.
And he does that to his own fans. And I worry more so about the team, the effect he has on this team. I think if he were to come in, it's something Trajan would be aware of. He's aware of that kind of locker room presence. We've seen it in even the minor decisions that he's made and who he's kept. like guys like Wu, who has a great locker room presence, how he was,
exactly.
how he, listened to Malik Beasley when Malik Beasley came to him during deadline last year and said, I want to stay. I want to stay. And he listens to those guys. And so I think if I would trust that Trajan thinks that maybe aspects are overblown about that or whatever, if we did get KD. But for me, if you think that KD is worth 3 firsts because he's an all-star and because of what he can do, and he's 38, I can see Trey Murphy being an all-star on the right team in the right environment. Absolutely. Like how Cade, I think, has been an all-star from the start, but we were so bad, you don't get recognized,
Exactly. Great point.
But I also, guys, just see Trajan not willing to give up 3 firsts for a guy. Because I also think it's an overpay. It's an overpay ask for Trey Murphy. Joe Dumars has some balls.
It probably is a little bit overpay for both. But even more so for KD. I feel like it's an overpay that will reap benefits if you do it for Trey Murphy. Because let's just how long will KD even be here? Like 2 years max?
Yeah.
You're talking him being 40 years old in two years from now. So if you're going to give up 3 first-round picks, it should be for somebody who's going to be a part of your core for a while.
You know what I mean? So
you get Trey Murphy for 3 years on a great contract, much less than what Kevin Durant is currently making. So I'm willing to give up 3 picks for that. Now, if it's 3 picks and Ron Hautenauer's like, nah, come on, bro. Or Sar Thompson is just ridiculous. But if they're going to make that kind of move, it needs to be, especially with the way first-round picks are valued now, it needs to be for a guy who's going to be here for a while.
Right.
Not somebody who's going to be, because I was telling King this the other day too, boss. I don't want to bring in a guy of such importance that is not going to be here long, because you're going to have to keep reintegrating new guys every year or two. I don't want to do that. I want a team you can build with. Right. I hate the Knicks, but the Knicks have that. They have that formula. They have guys who know each other, who play together. That's what helped them win the finals against a team who hadn't.
Yes.
So I think that is very important. If you're going to give that kind of capital, it's got to be for a core guy that you know is going to be here and who can grow and who fits the timeline. Trey just turned 26. K's 24. Asar's 23. JD's 22. Ron's 21. Right. That makes much more sense than bringing in a 38-year-old. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the only fear I have with bringing in KD for that kind of capital.
Exactly. And that's just kind of where I'm at too. Like, KD isn't going to go cheap. That's my issue. Right. And so if we're willing to get KD, why can't we give that same exact package for maybe a guy that might seem like an oversell right now based on his accolades, based on what his Trey Murphy is who I'm talking like. Yeah. I know he's good because we've watched him, and I think that he can absolutely thrive. He wants to be on a contending team, and he can be a huge factor. But imagine if we gave 38-year-old KD 3 first rounds. I would say maybe 4 years max, but 2 years of prime. Okay. KD? Is how long he would last. He'd have to retire with us. He probably wouldn't even want to. Anyways. When
has he been known to, like, he's been at 4 teams in the last 4 years? Something crazy like that. It's been bad. So,
but Trey Murphy's 25. So 26. Say we kept him till he was 38. We'd have him for 12 years for 3 first picks, But those also aren't the only 2 guys. I had to talk Deuce down a little bit today. Well, mostly we're not down. I said we were just talking about it because we're just ready for some things to happen. Yeah, I think we were both expecting more to happen and things to be confirmed by now, but it's kind of a slow roll. Yeah. Since yesterday. But there are other guys available. Each team probably has 3 people they're just not willing to separate from. Literally everybody else can be traded for. True. So maybe there's a fit that we haven't even considered that will make sense. Who knows? But that's kind of where I'm at with this. And this is just a stepping stone to get there.
Exactly. Boss, this is for you. Stanley says, tell Boss to send Peyton Watson.
All right, I'll comment on this real quick, and then we do have a super chat from Dom too. But
I see it.
Peyton Watson, guys. I talked a little bit about it last time. He came into this year, he made $2.6 million last year. He's coming into this year as a free agent, and he wants about $25 million a year. And he played 2/3 of the season because of injury. He had an amazing jump. He's a great defender. He had an amazing offensive jump. Incredible. Yeah. I think that he can do great things. The Clippers seem to be ready to offer him like a $116 million, which is just insane to me. It's a guy that you're relying on 2/3 of his season on one of the best teams in the league.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
how much you want to. So, and I just don't know what I think the Nuggets will give him whatever he wants, or whatever he's offered. I don't see where he can get 25 million from. I think it's if you want to bet on yourself, then you start with like a 2-year at a higher rate,
Yeah,
but
it's a
not a
small sample
5-year at
size.
25 million.
Yeah.
But anyways, I talked about this too last time. He's basically a SAR, and he moves like a SAR. He can shoot.
Yeah.
So I just don't know where his place would be on our team.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll just
That's all.
create
That's
another
all it
log
is.
jam.
Yeah, and again, first year kind of breaking out. Also spent it injured. I don't know what next year is going to look like for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I hope it's good. But if we
We
got
just
Peyton Watson,
need-
I'd be fine. But we're not willing to pay. We're not going to bet on him before we bet on our own guys.
yeah. I just the one thing I think about whenever I think about Peyton Watson is when Asar crossed him up through the legs and then crossed him up and then went to the hoop and dunked on him. That's not like, yeah, we're good. Even though Asar is not what he is offensively, it's kind of like looking in the mirror. Like Peyton Watson's a much better offensive player, but Asar is, even though Watson is a good defender, Asar is still a much better defender just because he's at the top of the list of the league. Like his numbers are ridiculous. It's astronomical how good he is defensively, which is why for a defensive team, you can't trade Asar Thompson for Trey Murphy. As much as I love Trey Murphy, you just can't do that. You're sacrificing too much identity for offense. So
Absolutely. But that's kind of where I'm at. But let's get to that super chat from Dom too.
Let's get it. What's up, Dom? Dom says, certified LeVert hater here. I'm glad he's gone and good luck in your future endeavors. It wasn't you, it's me, it's not. It wasn't you, it's me, it's not. Wasn't sometimes. Maybe okay, it was personal. Thanks, Trey, Jalen. This means something to me. Yeah, I knew Dom was gonna be happy about this.
Yeah,
that was every post-game show we did. It seemed like he was complaining about him, even with DMPs. Like, I don't like his outfit. He just did not like Caris LeVert at all last season. I understand why. He just wasn't a net positive for us with his team when he was taking up too much cap to be, not even getting off the bench sometimes. So I definitely agree with that for sure. Let's see. I'm looking for some more comments, boss. By the way, guys, if you see anything else in like online or anything,
no, I'm trying to just keep up a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, we can talk while Deuce is looking, guys. Like talking about overpay, and to someone who I think is an incredible talent in this league, I cannot believe they're giving Donovan Mitchell 68. Was it 68?
Yeah,
$62 million a year.
It starts at 60. And it's crazy because I was looking at Cade's contract and he started at 46.
Okay. That's
crazy to me. Like, Donovan Mitchell will be making 14, 15 million more dollars in Cade. I know the cap is rising, things like that, but still, like, it seems like a lot now, or it seemed like a lot when we signed Cade to that contract, but it's not really that much in comparison to what, like, relatively their age and just the player and the impact on the game on both sides. Donovan Mitchell, I don't see how you can pay somebody that much when they're not known to be a two-way player. Like, even a Jalen Brown, if we're going to give him that kind of contract, okay, at least he's one of the best, perimeter defenders in the league, and he can score. But Donovan Mitchell, he's known just for being a scorer. So paying him that much money to me is sus. I don't know how. The
only one at that age that I would be willing to pay, who's probably going to get paid more next year because he's being nice and waiting for his extension so they can afford people this year, is Nikola Jokic, because of how much he does in the game. Does he have defense? No, but he can play. Like, he does it all. Like, Donovan is incredible talent. Like, he's one of my favorite players to watch, honestly. Yeah. But with how old he is, like, we ran into this issue with Chauncey when he was 30 something when he left us, and we had to decide whether to pay him or not. It's just a risk. And I think older, guys are staying in the league longer because of, as much as like there's more injuries, I do think that we've come a long way in fitness and keeping and understanding what bodies need. And now that it's going more into a depth thing, those stars don't necessarily have to play for, ever on the court and still get their job done. But like, it's just a lot of money. Like for just, again, and they have to pay Harden too. They haven't extended Harden's contract yet either. Oh no, did they? I think they actually did.
Yeah, they did. They did. They're very top heavy right now. I don't know how they can pay all those guys right now. It's crazy.
I mean, they did they did get far. They passed us. They shouldn't have, but they did. Their window is also closing, where again, our window is opening.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know. But that was just shocking to me because it's also just, I think as much as I don't like the Knicks, like Brunson, I think Brunson did a huge favor to the Knicks by willing to take a pay cut and wait for his stuff for things like that. And it kind of is like, it's kind of crazy that Donovan Mitchell did the exact opposite. He's
Right.
just like, no,
Right.
pay
No, that's
me.
true.
I can win a championship myself. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
so,
100%. I want to say this too, because somebody asked the question, but I can't find it now. But they were saying, are you comfortable with how the roster is now? Like, are you comfortable with these moves?
Oh yeah.
If this was the end, absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. Because once again, we have a hole. We did fill the gaping hole at the 4, which needed to be upgraded. Just having more size and athleticism with this group that wants to turn defense into offense. And John Collins, he does that. He can shoot the ball. We have more shooting. We haven't lost a ton of defense, I don't feel. We did lose Isaiah Stewart. That hurts. Which is why having a backup 4 is so important. We've got Paul Reed, but Paul Reed can't do everything. We need more help just on that back line off the bench, and we don't really have that right now. So I think today, no. But this is July 7th. A lot can happen in a very short period of time, as we've seen around the league. So of today, no. But it's still early. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you,
you're
but
good.
we truly, I mean, it was LaMelo. The LaMelo trade hasn't been confirmed yet. The Giannis trade, I think, was confirmed.
That was confirmed. Yeah.
Is those two, and then the Knicks, Celtics, and Sixers just trading within their division. And and the Lakers, I think that was another thing. The Lakers just signed 4 free agents in a row. Like, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
And so it feels like there's a lot going on, but there are so many teams that haven't made a big move. I guess Kessler did leave. So yeah, there have been a few bigger moves, but I think it's just seeing some of the teams. I'm ready for another blockbuster, not necessarily from us, because I'm so sick of the Jalen Brown debate. He's a good player, and I just think he wants to be number 1 on a team that wants that Tatum's number 1, he should be. Like, I don't know, but anyways, I'm just so sick of seeing his name. I'm like, you guys are like drive me crazy with this, but so I'm ready for something more, and I get it. There is a bit of respect to come for I think that it's very intentional from Trajan. This was very intentional. We got rid of a guy that we didn't want to start the season with, the fans either. We got rid of him. We saved money. We apparently got a trade exception that basically pays for the Stu trade itself. Like, and the Isaiah Stewart stuff, that it does hurt.
Oh, for sure.
But it was time to move on. He was just one of the ones that I was prepared to say goodbye to, I think. I think you were kind of, if you didn't think that we were going to say bye to Stu.
I didn't, to be honest.
Really?
I didn't see that coming. Yeah, I thought he might be a lifer here. I thought he might be a Udonis Haslem type of guy for this team.
I would have loved that,
because of how much
too.
he represents and identifies and created, in large part, the culture.
It was pretty
so
funny.
That was surprising to me.
I had texted my mom about it. Who, when I texted her about LeVert trade today, because I'm trying to keep her updated, she goes, "Is that the UT guy?" I was like, "No, that's Chaz Lanier." But good to know the impact that LeVert made on you throughout this season because you didn't even know.
Right. Couldn't even. But, I couldn't even be mad at her, though, to be honest.
No, exactly. But the Stu trade, I was telling her, like, it's so sad. It's new beginnings. She's like, it is sad. She goes, actually, I'm pissed. So it's like,
really?
That's just the kind of, that's the kind of, Stu is Detroit basketball.
Oh, Stu. I thought you meant Caris. I got you.
No, Stu. When I texted her and she was like, I was like, it just, it was sad for me. And she was like, I don't like this. It's their first offseason after really getting to know, the players. Same with Tobias. Heartbreaker. I'm still going to do his cell phone celly for sure. But it just goes to show how much we value culture. And I think if we value that so much, Trajan values it just as much based on his moves. And I'm not saying that he doesn't value it because he got rid of a culture guy like Stu.
Yeah.
It's more so that's the business side of it. We can't just keep running it back. You guys are begging us not to run it back.
Right.
And we can't keep doing that. Something's going on, whether it's his knees, fit, whatever it is. Maybe he's ready for a fresh start. Who knows? But in the moves that he's making since, it's still showing that he's keeping that in mind. I don't know why.
Yeah, for sure. We got another super chat from Dom. I'm gonna get it back in here, hear from more of you guys. Dom comes back and says, "I'm not off the Duren train yet, but it's hard not to think about the last thing you saw him getting sunned in the playoffs. If we pay him and his game doesn't improve, fans gonna turn on him quicker than Cersei in a Game of Thrones episode." Shame. I need my bell. Shame. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about too, Dom. For all my GOT fans, y'all know who he's talking about. But I don't want this to linger too long. I understand he wants to get paid. I understand that, Trajan, hasn't budged as of yet on that amount. I feel like the sooner we can get, because we're making changes, the sooner we can get all these guys together, acclimated on the court, in the gym, working, the better. Build that chemistry, build that camaraderie. And my fear for him is that it takes so long, or longer than we would like, that it becomes what fans may think is a detriment to the team. And I feel like he may have to win some fans back. I feel like if he doesn't have a great season next year, it's like because he's taking so long and because this process is taking so long, it's like if he doesn't have a great season, they're going to be even more upset. And I understand it. I understand all sides, but that's what I worry about for him, is because it's like, okay, like now it's like it's kind of hurting the team a little bit as far as, like I mentioned, being able to get these guys together, and as far as being able to make moves right now. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't come to that. But I feel you, bro. It's hard, but we can't do that. We can't be prisoners of the moment as well. As bad as he played, we got to consider the fact that he did make All-NBA. I know guys were hurt and all these different things, but he still played very, very well in the regular season. I know that a lot of you think like the regular season doesn't matter, and I understand it, but you got to, in order to get to the playoffs, you still got to play the regular season. You still got to play. And I thought he did a really good job of that. So we'll see what the number comes out, what it's going to be. I think it's going to be somewhere between 35 and 40. Maybe a little bit more, but 35 and 40 is what I'm guessing. But we'll see. I just hope fans don't turn on him because of this situation here right now. That's kind of what I'm concerned about for him. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think my guess is 4 at 155.
So what's that, like 40 a year almost? A little less than 40 a year? It's like 38 a year?
Yeah, I think it's like 38.5 a year.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at, but I also could see him going a little higher. I don't see him going lower. I can see him going a little higher where they turn into a 5 year.
Told you King was gonna be happy about this, boss.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yes, of course. You're one of many, King. One of many. But I'm with you. He's an all-star young center, and I do want him to improve in areas. He has gotten better ever since. I know, like you said, regular season doesn't matter. He really did not do well in the playoffs, but also at some point it's like, bench him, my God, which still would end up in the same place. But we can't blame our entire playoff downfall on him, but we can point out how he didn't show up when we needed him to in the ways that we needed him to. I think, again, going into the playoffs, if he had performed well, we would be looking at $280 million. So I think anything less than 180, I'm okay with. And guys, apparently, and this, I still think it's because they wanted the Lakers off of Duren's back. And they offered the Reeves the max that any team could offer him outside the Lakers, because he was a restricted free agent as well. But
leave our guy alone. Leave our guy alone. Yeah.
If we're willing to offer Reeves, I think it was like 186, then that's something that Duren and his agent are going to bring up. They're like, apparently we're going to offer this guy. Now, they didn't sign an offer sheet or anything,
right?
So it could just be all talk.
I don't.
And
think
that's more on Trajan stuff. So, but for me, if I'm Duren, I'm thinking, okay, you're about to pay this guy who said he didn't want to come to Detroit, still didn't want to come to Detroit, is a restricted free agent. You're telling me that you were going to offer him this much money. Why am I not worth that? So that's kind of why I think it can end up closer to the 180. I think 155 is a great compromise. It's between 35 and 40.
Yeah.
And I want Duren to understand that contracts can be renegotiated.
Yeah.
So they can be renegotiated based on how if in 2 years you are providing for us in the playoffs, you're becoming improving in areas, more offensively diverse on the court, then yeah, I would consider reevaluating you for the last 2 or 3 years of your contract.
No, I mean, listen, if he played well in the playoffs, we're potentially in the finals.
Oh,
if you
100%.
think about it, because
Yeah.
we beat the Magic because Tobias, turned back
Mhm.
the hands of time and dipped into the fountain of youth and showed up for us in that series. We saw him kind of fade a little bit in the Cavs series. Asked to be number 2, should never been put in that position. But if JD is JD, if he's able to perform at least at a level he did in the regular season, we beat the Cavs in Game 7. We don't lose by 31 on our home court. We haven't
Yeah.
lost by that much all year,
Mhm.
and we probably beat the Knicks. I understand the Knicks that we saw in the regular season, who we beat by 84 points combined, is not the same Knicks team we saw in the playoffs. But
Mhm.
the matchups are still the matchups.
Yeah.
The matchups are still the matchups. I think we would have saw a lot more Isaiah Stewart in that series, and I think we beat them. So we could have found ourselves in the finals if JD had showed up and played the way we were hoping he would play and what he gave us in the regular season. And as a result, now I feel like he has earned the money that he may have been looking for. I don't think Trajan or I don't think anybody else would have been upset or looking at us sideways because of where we were.
Mhm.
Not just his play, but what his play got us to. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that would have been something that would have been a lot more understanding and validated had we gotten there.
Right. And that's kind of, I'm not going to say that we would beat the Knicks because the Knicks really did surprise me. They did face a defensive Spurs and still were able to get it done, but we were much better at closing out games than I think the Spurs were. But I will confidently say that I think we could have gotten through the Cavs in 5.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have gone to 7 games. We wouldn't have lost in Game 7. So I can
Right.
confidently say that if JD had showed up. I think we would have
think we
gone to
would've
Game
beat 'em
7 in
all.
either of the rounds.
I think we
So-
beat the Knicks. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean,
Who
you
knows?
would hope so.
Who knows?
Yeah. But that's just where I can, based on where we were this season, what I saw, that's what I can say to it. So, but again, I think that comes, and I agree with you. I don't want it to drag out long because Duren, everybody was team. I was the hardest one on Duren. I begged for him to get more boards.
Yeah.
Earlier in the season, I was like, you can average 2010, and he did. He was getting there. He did do that. And then I was begging him to play some defense. And so I need him to improve in that area too. Like, I was the hardest one. And now I feel like I need to be like, guys, out of the
Really down a little bit.
7, 14, out of the 96 games we played this year, 15 of them were bad for Duren.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. So,
think
and
that's
it's really hard because the playoffs are where we have to just that's where we leave it.
Yeah.
But, like Jokic and Murray were also awful in the playoffs. But I'm not about to be trade them. So,
I mean, but they're champions. It's a little bit different with them.
It's different.
I know you know that better than anybody. But
yes, but so I think it's just hard just to remind ourselves. But I do think that JD thing gets done. Like, we're keeping JD. That's what it is. But I do agree with you that I want the deal to go by faster, even just for image.
yes,
I'm curious to talk to him, to talk to Trajan about it, because I genuinely think he wants to be here. I think that his agent, I'm a little confused on the whole agent thing though, because I'm a big fan of Tari Eason, guys.
Or
I
Tari
love
Eason,
him.
bro.
He kind of fell off for the Rockets as they went on, but also really his first time in competitive basketball as well. And so he was shooting threes at just crazy efficient rates, and then kind of fell off as the season went on, and is just not making excuses, but some of these guys just haven't been in those roles before. And I saw that he got 81 mil. I was like, dang, that's almost for 5 years. That's a 4-year. Like, Tari Eason, I think that was cheap. I think they got him for cheap. And Tari and Duren have the same agent.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who's your agent fighting for? Is he just like, we'll just be like,
man.
Tari, this is fair, and then we'll fight our heads off for Duren and cause conflict?
Yeah.
Or is it just, I don't know, maybe we did just want to offer him the role. Maybe there's contingencies to it. But I'm just waiting for that to kind of be finalized. And I really thought that it would be done by now. So I'm kind of hoping that tonight it's still done by tonight.
Yeah.
But it's late there. It was late in Eastern time, so I don't know.
I want to get to this from Dwayne. Says, let's get Trey Murphy and get rid of our Thompson. We can replace him. I vehemently disagree with this. And I've been hard on Asar the last few years since he's pretty much been here. For who we are, we can't afford to lose Asar Thompson, bro. He is off the charts defensively. The way, what do I always call him? Other than Tasmanian Thompson, I call him the backbone of the defense. He covers up so many mistakes. He covered up so many mistakes last year with our starting five, with Tobias Harris, with Duncan Robinson in the starting lineup. You can't, if the impact would be immeasurable, like you'll be able to see it visibly on the court if you lose him.
Mm-hmm.
He's your point of attack defender. He's guarding the best player every night. If he's not there, now you got Cade guarding the best player every night, and now you got Cade not effective on the offensive end. The domino effect of losing Sar Thompson is you cannot lose him. You cannot. You can't. I know he's got a long way to go offensively, but the room for growth is there. And what he gives you defensively is you can't overstate it, bro.
Yeah.
And I love Trey Murphy. I've been on Trey Murphy since last year, guys, talking about how I want him on this team. He's the last piece. I've been saying it forever. But even with that, I'm like, I can't do it for Sar because we're a defensive team. You got to have a guy in your group, at least one of them, who you know every night is going to be able to take on the assignment of the best player.
Yeah. And I mean, and I completely agree. I think we run on defense. I mean, that's the reason, like, if the Nuggets trade Watson, I'm going to be so mad at them because what they need is defense.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need his offensive output, as great as it is. They're not the flashiest names, but we've helped Cade with Collins and Joe. We've helped Cade with Collins and Joe. They're not the flashiest names. Collins had a slightly better average than Tobias, but also the Clippers were wild this year. They were terrible, then really good, then bad again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where Daryl is. He'll come for me. But but the shooting has been solved, and Sar, I think where we messed up with Sar is I don't think he's a ball handler, and we kind of pushed him into that role early. And the reason we didn't see it more until it became more natural to him was because we were like, okay, this isn't your role. You're not a man. A man's a point guard. And I think if we just focus more on his shot, which that was another thing. He was talking about how he was working on his arch and working on these things. And you saw those. Mm-hmm. But the laser shot is fine as long as it goes in. So it's more just like, instead of working on your arch, you have this crazy elevation that we've seen. Yeah. So use your elevation to get the ball in the basket, not the arch. So there's little things that I think will help tweak, that will help get, and this is more Eric Vincent's take of Sar has to do more offensively. He can't just be defense in that starting position. And I agree with him sometimes, didn't agree with him other times, but like, I do think going in, Sar and Ron need to be better offensively, and that's the goal. Yeah. And both of those guys, well, I mean, Ron especially, I have no doubt in Sar, but guys, remember, he was out for a long time with a blood clot. He couldn't even work in the offseason. Yep. I think if he just improves this season 15% offensively and keeps his defense, beautiful.
Just get Ron, 30% shooting the three.
Ron, for his minutes, I need to improve maybe 20%, but that's not even just his shot. That's just going back to him driving to the basket. We saw it a lot in the earlier season, and then he started to shoot corner threes, which they want him to do. He started being more stuck in the corner. Mm-hmm. I would like him to get back to his. Of course, I want him to develop that more because we saw in Summer League last year it was draining him. Yep. But I want him to get back more to driving to the basket confidently as well.
Like for Ron, it's the half court offense.
Right. So that's just kind of where I'm at with them. But that's not even asking your guy to completely change. It's just asking for little improvements as, it goes on. And for Duren, I think what he should be developing at the very least right now is a Hartenstein floater. Yeah. That's I want him to do more, but that is going to, like, him not having to dribble all the way to the basket to get his shot is going to be so helpful already.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. And for me, that's kind of the dilemma for me with JD, because Cade, I feel like Cade would be fine if he had a guy who is just a great roller. And I want JD here. I'm just making a point. Yeah. If he had a guy who was a defensive monster, a guy who was a great roller to the hoop, like a lot of things JD does, a great finisher around the rim, a great defensive presence, I think Cade would be all right if he just had that at that spot. JD has a lot of those things. He gives us a lot of other things offensively that are just like flashes, like the passing, and as far as the midi, he's showing flashes of the midi and the ball handling and things like that. But it's like he wants to be compensated for all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand it. But it's like if you got a guy on the wing who can score and you've got Cade who can initiate and you got other guys who can do that, is that what they need him to do? I feel like Trajan is trying to get the most he possibly can for what he needs out of every position.
Right.
So that's not to say, I think if JD was the defensive presence consistently that we needed him to be, I don't think he have any problem giving him the money that he's asking for. But I think because this team wants to start with defense, and it's like he's got a bag and he can do all these things, but it's like, what do we need more than anything out of that position?
Yes.
And for me, it's rim protection. That's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing.
Okay.
So it's like you got all these other things, but the things we need you to do, you're not really elite at yet. So how can we pay you what you're asking for right now? I feel like that's kind of where he's at right now. Go ahead.
And that's kind of how I feel, because it's not even like, it's just more so establishing yourself, because obviously we see it with Wembanyama, but we saw it with Stu too. People would turn around in the lane if Stu was there waiting for them. So that's just what you want. And I don't think Chet is as good as, I think Chet has more height. He's not as good as Wemby with timing, definitely not as good as Stu with timing, but like they do it with Chet. You just turn around with certain guys. That's how it was with Dwight Howard. Like you just turn around. And so that's just basically what it is like if JD wants to get better defensively, be aggressive. And the other thing is that he is young. Who was it that off the top of my head, insane that Andre Drummond has developed a 3-shot this late in his career. Nuts. Yeah. And I'm not saying I want to keep guys so long that when they're old and taking minimums, that's when they're developing other skills. But we have to remember, they're so young. Yep. It's like, and that's why I'm like, just improve 15 to 20% every season. And again, that's just going to, based on, guys, we finished first. And it's not a fluke. And it's not just because of Cade. But a lot of it was also because of JD and Asar.
Yeah, for sure.
But if they just improve, these young guys improve just a little bit. And I think so many people are like, this is our window. This year is all I heard. Tatum's injured. Hallie's injured. We have to win this year. I don't want to win when all the good competition's out. I want to play them straight up. We heard that too as the season went on. Oh, OKC is injured. I want to play the full team because now it feels too easy. Well, I don't want it to be easy, but it might not mean that we don't win for 3 years. And I think that's Trajan's goal too. We saw how they worked in OKC. We saw how it's collapsed and hasn't worked for other teams going all in. Like the OKC with Westbrook, Harden, and Durant, like that's a given in my mind. It didn't work. It didn't work. And so, and then they had to rebuild from that. They had a better turnaround, a quicker turnaround than most teams, I would say. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't right away. And it was from then on to their recent championship. That was the whole rebuild. That's what got them there. And they didn't repeat. That's the other thing. Everything's very parity right now. So you'd rather I want to be a force in this league like we were in the 2000s. Yes, we only went away with 1 championship with only 2 finals appearances, but there were 8 years of us just
6 in a row in the conference finals.
Dominating. That's the kind of distance team I want.
And that's my point about KD and Trey. Like, I want multiple cracks at it. Mm-hmm. I want to give ourselves, because there's injuries, because things happen. Like you can't push all your chips in for one season. You're asking to lose if you do that. Yeah. You got to put yourself in position to be able to have 3 or 4 chances, and within that period, try to grow and get better every year throughout the process. You can't just all go in for 1 year because this team's hurt, that team's hurt. What if you're the team that ends up getting hurt? What if somebody doesn't perform at the level you think they're going to perform in the playoffs?
Cade played in a vest.
Anything can happen.
Cade played in a vest, and he did that. Like, that's just nuts. And I have to give it to Brunson, too. I just found out had wrist surgery. And last year, Jalen Williams had a wrist surgery. Like, these guys are playing through really tough things. Hallie knew the risk when he went into it, but so many of these guys don't expect to be injured. Yeah. Like, obviously.
Nobody really does. That's the point.
Like the Jaden Ivey injury completely altered some Pistons history. And I think despite how you might feel after this season, Trajan did a fantastic job at adjusting to that. Because imagine that your number 2 option on a lot of teams is out, and then you panic in that season, and then you panic in that off season going to the next season. And without his number 2 option for a season and a half, we still made it to the first position in the East because of some of these adjustments.
Right.
But that's just, so, I mean, we could talk about all these guys and what we need from them forever.
Yeah.
But it is really just some of you guys, I mean, most of you guys are actually pretty chill. I think Reddit and Twitter are just places for people to argue. I feel like
social media is a toxic place, boss.
I've been opening Twitter more bravely.
Yeah.
I'm still afraid to send one. I'm like, I'm just not ready to fight. I feel like I could send the most just everyone agrees tweet and just get hate.
It's always going to be a disconnect. Always.
But so I'm really like, a lot of you guys seem to understand that this move that we made today in acquiring Taurean Prince and Gary Harris for Caris LeVert is a stepping stone. I don't think a lot of you, I don't know if you can put a poll up, Deuce, or not, but like, I'm just curious how many of you think that there's not more to come. And if you think
everyone
that,
knows
why?
I think fans are just a lot of fans are just impatient because
FOMO
FOMO is a real thing. You look around the league and you see all these
imagine being a Nuggets fan.
You haven't done anything. Yeah.
We signed wait, Deuce was laughing. Guys, I'm so excited. We got Pistons legend Marvin Bagley III.
Shots fired.
No, legit. I think poor Marvin is how I feel about James Wiseman. You guys are gonna you guys know me.
No.
They just did not. I think James was showing a lot more spark when Monty was finally giving him minutes and then just never got to develop. Bagley was with us during our worst season ever. When we played him, he played really well when he was on the Wizards. He played well. I think that I think that these guys still, but it's funny because imagine being the Nuggets guys and having, you guys are like, Bacade's window, Nikola Jokic. What have they done for him this season?
Yeah.
They re-signed Tyus Jones, my little freckle cutie pie, and they signed Marvin Bagley as his backup. And guys, they have until tonight to decide if they buy out Valanciunas' whole contract because he's going to Europe. So do they spend that? If they waive Valanciunas and sign Peyton Watson, they'd have to spend $177 million in luxury tax. That's where the Nuggets are right now. Don't have any first round picks for like 5 years. So
glad we're not them. Sydney says, my question is, have we gotten better or worse on defense? I think we've gotten better on defense so far. I don't think we're done. Like the Stu hurts a lot. I know he wasn't available in the playoffs, but from a culture setting standpoint, as far as just demanding, his teammates and just his defense being contagious, I think that's important. I think that was a big loss. I do think bringing in John Collins for Tobias Harris is an upgrade defensively on both sides, honestly. Now, John Collins is not the ISO scorer that Tobias Harris is. He's not one of those guys you can just dump the ball down to in the post and get a bucket, which is what Tobias did religiously and consistently last year in the half court. John Collins does have an offensive game. He's got a post game, but it's not on the level of Tobias. He doesn't live there, right? But he is a much better 3-point shooter. And defensively, he moves his feet much better. Defensively, he can get out in the break and run. I'm not going to be concerned about him popping a tire as he's trying to lead a break or anything like that. But I do think he's just a bigger body that he gives you something more of a too big lineup with he and JD, as opposed to Tobias, who's really not a true four. He's not a four. To me, he's just a tweener who can play the four in spots, but full-time four is not Tobias here. That's not, I don't think he's going to be playing that in San Antonio either. But I think we got better there for sure. We got better as far as just having more size and more athleticism on the defensive side. And he can rim protect. If you look at his film, he's swatting shots left and right at the rim. John Collins is, even at this stage of his career. He's not old. I think he's like 28, 29. So he's still relatively
27.
young. 27. Okay. As far as the two, and this is what I wanted to ask you, boss. Because the two, I was saying at the end of the last season, we can't come back next season with Duncan Robinson and Tobias Harris as our starting 2 and 4. We just can't do it. We just can't do it. We don't have enough defense there. If we're trying to be a defensive team, and that's why I was saying Asar Thomas was so important, because despite those two guys not being great defenders, we were still a top 3 defense. Asar was a big part of that. To the point he had the Cavaliers coach saying, whoever Asar is guarding, pass the ball away and have the other guy try and score. So I still think I mean, I don't want to come back next year with Duncan Robinson as a starting two. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I saw him religiously continue to like just getting blown by, and we had to help, and he just couldn't stay in front. I don't want to see that anymore next year. If that means Isaiah Joe starts at the 2, okay, cool. If that means Dana starts at the 2, cool. If that means Herder starts at the 2, I don't care. Whoever can guard needs to start. We're a defensive team. We want to get off to good starts.
Yes.
Like too often, Duncan Robinson was. I don't want to say he was holding us back, but I feel like he was. Like we were relegated in the half court too much. Starting games, and we had to have our guys come off the bench to give us that defensive lift as a result. So if it's Isaiah Joe or anybody else, I want all 5 guys in the starting group to be capable of guarding consistently. That's my thing. Go ahead.
All right. So agreed. Duncan Robinson did adjust so well to what we asked of him. He showed effort on defense, and I genuinely think he got better from season start to season end. He was averaging like a steal a game towards the end of it. We kept saying he had 2 steals,
Mm-hmm.
I was at the Denver game where he played 30 plus minutes and missed 8 shots, 0 of 8 from 3. Like, I think that was our biggest thing going back is like when Duncan didn't have a good shooting game, we were like, then why was he playing 30 or so minutes? Because we needed defense in replace of him. And again, I do think he got better towards the end of the season. And if he gets better. So for me right now, based on what I've seen of Isaiah Joe, his efficiency is there like Duncan's can be.
Mm-hmm.
But he does stay, and he's very good at staying in front of his guy, and he's very good on switches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he is a little skinny mini boy. But then you talk about Herder. So Herder, I think, plays great defense.
Mm-hmm.
He led the league last year in what did they call it? In interception, almost like interceptions for football was kind of the stat line of
pick
like
sixes.
Yeah, pick sixes.
Yeah.
He led the league last year of
that's crazy.
Being on when you're on your minutes average of how many
36.
Yeah, you steal to and then complete the basket on the other end. Yeah. Kevin Herder led the league in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, if his efficiency comes back, he's the 2 for me.
Okay.
If Isaiah Joe, based on what I've seen, is also coming from a defensive-minded team like the Thunder, he's also an option. And then for Duncan, if he's starts to average and figure out his switches better and figures out how to keep guys from bumping into him, from not fouling, from not being abused, then if that's what he works on this offseason, then he's the option. So this is beautiful that we have 3 very efficient guys. And I do think that Kevin Herder can get back to that efficiency, especially with kind of this, I've been signed, I'm safe, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I can just mess with a guy. And he came from the Kings, who were good and then blew up, fired Mike Brown, who just won a championship. The Mars just got bought out. They're asking Levine, they're not going to buy out, but he doesn't want to be there. Fans are yelling at Levine last year to play defense. And I love that fan because that's exactly that fan that was just like, do something, bro. Yep. And then you go to the Bulls, who started off great, guys. They beat us the first game, and then they went on a 5-0 win streak, and then just fell apart. And he wasn't, and that was another one where there's like, I just don't know. Like, what's the role here? Because then Giddey was out, Kobe White was out. Who knows?
Right.
So the fact that he's, with the team that he fit in with quickly, and then now it's established and he's here, I could really see him falling back into a good rhythm offensively. And we already know that he will give that effort defensively. He's a little bit of a bigger presence, better on switches, just kind of a little bit better overall there. So all those are huge options. And again, it's just, but to answer the question that you had, and I just want to, Michael, I did see this because the question was, did we get better? Man. Did we get better or worse on defense? I think it a little bit equals out. We got better on offense. And then the defense, I do think we lost the big one with Stu, but Paul Reed, when he did get minutes, had a lot of blocks. When he got starting minutes, against the Bulls, actually, 28 points, 4 steals, 2 blocks, insane. Yeah. So and Paul Reed is a great, roll to the basket guy for Cade or whoever's out there as well. He can hit the midi, he can hit the 3. So I do think we won't see Stu level. Stu is one of a kind in terms of his timing and and what he can do. He really studied that.
Mhm.
Paul Reed, I think, will give his all to maintain that as a backup big for us. Duren is obviously we want. So I would say it kind of Tobias could stay in front of the right guy. He had a good time. I think he stayed well in front of vets. I think it's the young guys he couldn't really keep up with. He did well.
I remember in the playoffs, man, he was getting cooked. It didn't matter who he was on, switch or no switch. If it was Paulo, whoever it was, if it was Suggs.
I also remember we also give him credit. But the point is, like, we shouldn't have to give him credit. You know, like, oh, that was a good defensive. Like, you just want to have it every time, kind of thing. But I do think Collins is better there. I agree. So, but I'm just saying for what maybe we're definitely better on offense. Maybe slightly less better on defense is where I'm coming from, but we still have important defensive pieces in Cade is one of the best two ways. Asar, Wu, even though King doesn't think Wu does nothing. You guys know me. Wu often plays for, if he plays 20 plus minutes, he doesn't foul because he's out there guarding with his life.
Yes.
But
he's not starting forward, guys. We're not saying just starting forward.
No,
We're just saying
but he does. He makes the guy pass it. That's his kind of defense. Wu makes the guy pass it. So we do have the defensive minded guys still, but I do agree that losing Stu is like a drop in defense, but not huge enough. The guys that we brought in and like signing Herter, I think help fill that up a little bit. But I do hope, and we talked about this. This is another reason why I didn't want Hero, why I still don't want MPJ. If we make a big move, he needs to play two ways.
Yeah. 100%.
That's kind of why I'm at. If we make a big move, it's got to be a guy that plays two ways. And I do want to say, because I mentioned it already and somebody else brought it up about, I starred you. Where are you now? Is you guys, maybe I didn't star him, but someone mentioned if DeMar. His market guys basically starts at vet minimum, they said. Basically starts on, he can kind of pick and choose. I think any team would take him at a vet minimum. I'm not lying. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of goes to which team wants him more and we'll pay him more. I think we would pay him the vet minimum, maybe a little bit more. I wouldn't mind DeMar, but he can't be the only move. I'm saying if we make a big move and we have a roster spot for him and he's willing to take $4 or $5 mil for 2 years, whatever, 1 year, $4 mil, 1 year for whatever Gary Harris and Taurean Prince are signing, I would love DeMar. I would love him more than Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, they're going to buy him out. Imagine the Kings buying him out for $40 million.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, like DeMar can't start. Mm-hmm. He can't start.
No.
Once again, and I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just saying to the chat, like, he can't start, guys, because, like, once again, we still need spacers. He's not a good three-point shooter. He's a good midi shooter. That's where he made his money. But we need guys who can space the floor. That's why I like, and I saw somebody comment as far as with Duncan. Somebody said Duncan Robinson was good because of his length as compared to Isaiah Joe. That's true. Mm-hmm. Duncan Robinson 6'7", Isaiah Joe 6'4", 6'5". But once again, it's good to have length, but you got to be able to move those puppies, bro. You got to be able to move your feet. Think about, this is not a perfect example, but think about Wemby guarding Cat. Wemby's the tallest player in the league, was getting blown by in the perimeter by Cat. He just couldn't move his feet. He couldn't stay in front. So it doesn't matter how tall you are if you can't stay in front of your guy. If they're hunting you and they're getting penetration every time, your rotations better be crisp. And even then, it may not matter because the ball moves faster than your feet. So it's like you got to be able to move your feet. And that's the difference. It's just the lack of athleticism. It's not the want to. It's not the will, because he bought in more here last year than I ever saw him compete in Miami with Heat culture. Right. It's not that. Yeah. It's just the ability to be able to stay. If you shoot over me, cool. That's much better than you just getting by me and now I got to send help. That's the difference for me between Isaiah and Joe and Duncan Robinson. And then Isaiah Joe is not a clamper either. I'm not saying he's a clamper. He's actually trying to make sure that he improves his defense. Right? So it's not like he's a huge upgrade over Duncan, but he's a better upgrade. I have more confidence with him on the perimeter guarding as opposed to a Duncan. And he can shoot just as well from three. So that's why I would like to have, and that's honestly why I would like a Trey Murphy at the 2 instead of both of those guys. Because it's like Trey has the length and he's got the athleticism to be able to stay in front. He's not a great defender yet. He's barely a good, he's a solid defender. He's solid, but he has the capability to get better. On this team, he'd be a much better defender. Team defender and individual defender. Because he's got the measurables, he's got the athleticism, and he's got the length. He's 6'8".
That's
So
true.
that is why I wanted Trey Murphy on his team,
Yeah.
because he could just do so many things for you on both sides of the basketball. I say all the time, not too many guys around the league, guys, who can walk into All-Star weekend and walk out with a 3-point contest champion trophy and a slam dunk contest trophy. Both.
Yeah.
How many guys in the
True.
league can you say can do that? Not too many. So
And
that's why I wanted an upgrade at the 2, because it gives you the spacing for Cade and it gives you the two-way capability to be able to get it done defensively.
And if Trajan's sticking by his guns and really doesn't want to give 3 first, because here's the thing, not only is that it's a lot for Trey. I would do it for Trey, honestly. But it's also, we blame other teams for well, now you set a precedent. Oh my God. Now you set a precedent for some of these guys and they're not going to go for lower, all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So there are other guys might not be on the same page as people, but I think Najee Marshall would fit in well. 2-way player.
Yeah.
Jabari Smith Jr. I love him. I think he would
I do too.
do well.
I wouldn't mind that at the 4.
Yeah, and I think he would thrive he thrived with the Rockets, but you could tell Duren was a little bit of hard on him.
Yeah.
So there's other guys who do you guys? I don't want to hear flashy names for the point of flashy names. Tell me who you guys think is a good option for both 2-way, because I would be so, we just said defense is our identity and we brought in good shooters that can maintain defense. And I think that that's the goal. I would be peeved if we spent a lot of assets or sent away some of our young guys that do play 2-way, like Ron, for a guy who doesn't, and that we're hoping can just adjust. Duncan was basically our Malik Beasley replacement, and I think Duncan did a better job towards the end of the season on defense than Malik ever did for us, personally, in terms of defense.
I think that's fair.
But I'm not saying calling him a crazy good defender. I'm just saying I saw the improvement from day one with Duncan. So huge.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you guys think would be a good? Because again, PJ Washington's another one that we've talked about.
Yeah,
there just might be other guys that if Trajan really truly believes that 3 firsts aren't enough, or if the 3 firsts they ask for more than 3 firsts, because if you're getting 3 firsts, you can't get a player. Come on, Dumars. Not for one guy that hasn't made the All-Star, hasn't done that. So for me, it's who do you guys really think could do both that we should go for?
Yep.
Because I was just curious, because that way, we can get a little bit excited about some other names if this doesn't work. And I could understand from a business perspective why he doesn't want to do that. But I do think there's a reason he's drafting super young as well. I don't even know if Trajan would have gone for Yaxel.
Yeah.
I love Yaxel. He's doing good, but he's older. And that's not necessarily a problem. Of course I'm going to be mad if we got Yaxel. But I think that drafting young, like a 19-year-old Ibuka, makes those first rounds the upcoming first rounds a little bit less necessary, because you're getting super young, good talent that you can mold for the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it a little bit.
Okay.
Because if you're drafting 24 to 25-year-olds every draft, and then you want to give up first rounds, I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
Because in 3 years, they're going to be 28. So
Right. Some super chats here we're going to get from Dom. Dom says, Sac, New Orleans, Brooklyn, Denver, Houston, Indiana, Orlando, all teams that have basically done nothing. I'm not trying to be a team just to make a move, just because. I agree, bro. Yeah, it's got to be the right move. But I think honestly, some fans would be happy with just making a move, because it's they want to have something to talk about.
They want to recognize it.
It's fun. It's fun, the new shiny toy and things like that. But it's got to make sense for this team. But I want to ask you guys this: do you? And it's still early, but as of right now, do you feel confident this team, as currently constructed, can get to the conference finals? Because I don't know. Now, like I said, I don't think they're done. I was telling King, I will be concerned if we don't really upgrade that 2 spot, not significantly. I don't feel like we have significantly upgraded the 2 spot yet. I don't.
Really?
We really haven't yet. So it's everybody wants a number 2. Who we still don't have that guy yet. I feel like Trey could be that guy to be that number 2. We don't really have that. And we saw what happened offensively in the playoffs last year. So we upgraded if you want to say upgraded Isaiah Joe with dunk, okay, slight defensively, you got better defensively. The 3-point shooting is still there, right? So
Yeah,
you
they
really
agree with
didn't
you.
have much of an You really didn't upgrade that much yet. So it's like I'm still looking for something else to happen, especially considering, boss, we still have 8+ guards on this team. Yeah,
Right.
Mike, like, yes, I feel like it's a playoff team as of right now. And
Right.
granted, it's July 7th. A lot
Yeah.
can happen. But as I'm watching names fly off the board now I'm like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? I feel like one more piece in that starting group could change that. But I feel like we haven't really gotten that piece yet. And maybe that's what Trajan's gearing up for. But for me, we haven't seen it yet. Go ahead.
I think that's the hardest part right now too, is like it's almost like you don't think that the 2 is there yet, but that's kind of where we have the most depth right now. So who do we give up for that? Because I'm with whoever I just put up with the power forward. We got Collins, but we need a bench. And I know you're going to say Paul Reed, but all last year we were saying how Isaiah Stewart should be the 4, and it just never happened. And so just going off of how they coach, I firmly believe that B-ball is just our backup 5. Yes, in certain situations, I think he could be the 4, but I think we still need one more 4. And right now the 2 is where we are the deepest. That's why I personally think that Danis will stay a backup point guard. I think we'll get minutes from Ibuka, but I don't think we need him right away. And then so the 2 right now is basically Isaiah Joe, Duncan, Herter.
Those are the options. Danis, like those are the options.
Harry Harris
like,
now.
if he stays, right.
Yes.
So it's like we're deep there, but do we have enough at the top to be good enough in that starting group? That's so to your point, it's like, what do we do there? Because we're deep at the 2, but are you confident in any of those individual guys, not collectively, individually, being enough of an upgrade over what we had last year? And that's where I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Would say yes, but yes, if we upgrade the power forward as well. That's where it sucks, because I'm like, I want Trey Murphy, but he's not a 4, and he could be a 3. Then what's a star?
Yeah, you could. To me, that's interchangeable. Like, to me, with those 2, like the position, the title, who cares? Like, the star is going to guard the best player. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really make a difference to me where you put him with the 2 or Trey the 3 or vice versa. I think the star is just going to guard the best guy, the best perimeter guy. You can put Cade and Trey on the other guys. So I'm not too concerned about the positioning.
Right.
I just want to make sure we have guys who can all guard in that starting group, man.
It would be nice if we, again, get Trey and then sign a backup 4. But like Torian's a small forward.
He's a small forward, right? Is he a 4? He plays small ball lineups?
No, he's a small forward.
Right?
I checked, because when I think of Torian Prince, I think of him as corner 3s, and that's usually where we see 4s hang out, like Tobias. So maybe he could be that. But so me, it's like, okay, then if we do go for Trey, I think we have to give up someone, and that might be Duncan. There were already rumors of him being waived. We might keep him to package him for Trey. Who knows? They do need vets down there. They re-signed DeAndre Jordan. Congratulations. He's a fantastic human. One of Nikola Jokic's best friends. Cool. But that's why I'm thinking if we do get Trey, then we still have to bring in a 4. And I guess it just depends on
if we need to bring in a 4, boss. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But then do you think we play small? Then we play small when John Collins is not.
We just go with the 3 big lineup. You just have
that hasn't happened all this season, despite our big depth. That's why I don't think it's in the cards, because it didn't even happen at all this season. And maybe 2 games we were like excited with 2 big. So that's why, like, I get it. I get your view, but like, despite how much we were like, this makes sense, it didn't make sense to them because it never happened. So I'm just going off of the patterns. And yes, something needs to change. But are they willing to just rotate our bigs? Because I want to see Tolu get more minutes. I would love to see our new guy, UGonna Onyenso,
yeah.
I would love to see him get minutes as well. He's been very fun, because that would mean playing JD Paul Reed at the 5, and then having, Paul Reed rotate to the 4, and then Tolu come in. Like, that would be cool. But since we didn't see it last season when we had JD and Stu and Paul for that option, I just don't think we're going to see it. And that's why I think I'm like, okay, well then maybe we do just play small when Collins was off the court.
That's true.
I guess,
if I'm being real,
Wu would come in for Tobias.
Yeah,
Who would be Tobias's
not
replacement?
as we're thinking about it. Tobias Harris is getting paid $26 million. You
Yeah.
don't pay a guy like that to come off the bench.
Mm-mm.
So I think that's a big part of it too. The fact that he's not here anymore, and now we can run it now, like because you got John Collins making 17 mil. Now it makes not like now we kind of already have a too big with those two, with JD
Okay.
and John Collins, and now it makes more sense because I was begging for because Tobias is not a 4. So it's just like
Right.
John Collins now allows you to play too big, and now it's like you can just go with those 3. So you're right, we didn't do it last year, but I think we're in a position now because we don't have a guy committed to so much money at that spot that it makes sense for him to start. Tobias has moved on. So now it's like
Right.
it may not guaranteeing it will, but now it's just more plausible. It makes more sense now to be able to do that. And with Tolu, like we've got Tolu, we've got UGonna.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of 4s. So it makes sense for B-Ball Paul to at least get some minutes at that 4, unless we get somebody else to bring in. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I would like that, but I do think that again, if Trey is just unreasonable, if the ask is too high, if they're asking for 3 firsts plus a player,
Yeah,
instead of just 3 firsts straight up or 2 firsts and a player,
yeah,
then I think that we shift our focus to trading for a forward like PJ Washington.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah,
I like PJ.
and I would say Aaron Gordon, but he gets paid a lot.
Yeah, he gets paid. Yeah,
So then it's
Yeah.
like, then you're
That's too-
paying, you got 2, then it's almost like you're disrespecting Collins or Gordon by having one of them come off the bench because both of them are capable of what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And you kind of want Collins to be the higher paid. I don't think PJ Washington's that cheap either. So that's my whole point. Is like, I don't think there's a lot of power forwards in the league, to be honest. I think the small, seeing tons of guards, tons of small guards come out of the draft. I'm anxious for another power forward in this league.
Yeah.
I think it's huge for depth and stuff, but for teams that don't have multiple, it is just about going small ball for a while.
Yeah.
So that just might be what it is.
Could be. Heisenberg says, I feel better if we got one more piece, but this team was 1 game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. And if we had better shooting and spacing, we probably don't blow game 3 or 5. I do think we can make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
I think that's optimistic. I just don't know, especially with the East now getting better. Like we got teams we got to deal with now. Like there are some teams who didn't do anything, but we got teams like Philly who it looks a lot better, at least on paper. But they got 3 or 4 All-Stars in that starting group now. You know, between Maxey and B when he's healthy, and then Jalen Brown, and you still have Edgecombe, right? So it's like they have a lot of talent on that team. So it's just like, who knows? We don't know what's going to happen yet, but I would just feel more confident, even not even looking at the other teams. I don't want Cade to be bogged down again next year. I don't want Cade's usage to be as high as it was last year. Even just having the ball in his hands, though, like just as far as initiating offense, if we got more shooting, that's great. But as far as just allowing him to take a play or 2 off, we didn't really have. Asar at times did it. He's not that guy yet to where you're like, okay, he's the number 2 guy to bring the ball to court. No, I just feel like we need somebody to take pressure off of Cade aside from just spacing,
right?
To where he has to make the play every time. Last year he was making the play, and we had guys who couldn't knock down shots. That's better. But we still need somebody, in my opinion, just to help him a little bit as far as just the offensive load in general. So
yeah. And I do want to say, I see a lot of you guys in the comments too being like the East is tougher now, teams got better. And I was reading an article today about how they were talking about like the East is kind of shifting to the West. Like you kind of want that respect. You want the teams that you play 3 or 4 times a year to be the best of the best, because that only makes you get better. There's no faulty, like, oh, well, they're in the East. Like the West has been a battlefield for a while. And I do think the East got tougher, but also for years, I've been thinking the Sixers are championship bound based on their rosters. And that hasn't happened. The Pacers lost Miles Turner and then Hallie to injury and completely fell off, despite being a team that I thought played very well together.
Right.
Like you guys are saying teams got better. Like the Heat got Giannis and they lost a lot of guys that they relied on. I cannot believe they gave up Jaime Jaquez. Jaime Jaquez was one of my favorite young players for him. I think he was probably more of the sell than Tyler Hero for the Bucks, because I think that's a kid with heart and will be fun to watch. But like that they got THJ, cool. He was just as inconsistent for the Nuggets this year as he was for the Pistons last year. Like maybe a little bit better on the Nuggets, but because they were so offensive focused, I think. But I just, I get it. It looks better on paper. We thought a deadline. I was like, oh my God, the Celtics got Vucevic. They just got that is a huge. He's gone. He's already gone. He's already off the team.
Yep.
So
that didn't work.
On paper, teams did get better.
Yeah.
But also, you just don't know. Like we just talked about, like injuries, the way time management, all this stuff. The Sixers, I'm still questioning because I love Tyrese Maxey, but Brown wants to be a number one, but Maxey deserves to be number one. So how is he gonna fit in with it's just like there's all these unanswered and just not match. Like I don't think the Wolves got better with Melo.
No,
I truly don't.
No,
the Wolves are yeah, they're gonna be shooting threes like crazy, but it just
yeah. We got some updates. First, I want to get to Doug. Appreciate you, bro. Okay. Long time no see, man. Good to see you again, man. Hope you're doing well. The OG Pistons fan in the building. Since I think the 50s, he's been a fan of the Pistons. We go way back. Making us look like babies in here. I got a text from King. He just sent me a massive update on the trade details. I'm just gonna read it. Okay. It's a mouthful, y'all. So just bear with us. New details have emerged regarding the finalized 6-team transaction involving the Pistons, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Bucks, Clippers, and Wizards. Pistons received John Collins via sign and trade, Gary Harris, Taurean Prince. Pistons send out Marcus Sasser to Dallas, so that is official. Isaiah Stewart to Memphis is official. So these are now official moves. Other key moves, Dallas got Santi Aldama, Marcus Sasser. We talked about that. Memphis, okay, yada, yada, yada. Okay. The complete transaction also includes 11 players, boss. 11 players is crazy. 1 first-round pick, 10 second-round picks, 1 second-round pick swap, cash considerations. Wow, that's a lot. And then update says from Keith Smith says, with Marcus Sasser traded to the Mavericks, the Pistons are now 48 under the luxury tax. So this is coming in hot, guys. As we're on the show, we're getting new information. So they went from 42 to now 48. Because I think Sasser's he was in his last deal, I think, of about $5 million. So that tracks. That makes sense. That's with 15 players under contract. More than enough room to re-sign Jalen Duren again, to take back some money in a sign and trade where Duren lands elsewhere. Interesting. Yeah. Lands elsewhere. So I don't know if this means that this is part of the plan to move JD elsewhere in a sign and trade or not. But that is very interesting. That is very interesting. I don't know what that means. But I don't know. I don't know, boss. I don't know if that means JD's still going to be a Piston.
I do.
You think so? I would like to think so. But shout out to King, by the way.
There's not one center in this league except for Jokic that I would say get rid of JD for. Oh my God.
Oh, I wouldn't get rid of him. It's just a matter of does he want to be here at this point? I don't know. We don't have any details. So I don't want to speculate too much. Go ahead.
So I guessed 4 for 155 for his first year. I expected to be a little bit higher. But say that I'm right. Say that it's $38.5 million for him. 38.5 yearly for the next 4 years. Then we have 10 million under cap still for the year to sign someone. Mm-hmm. Still nice. But that's also, guys, that's without waiving or buying out some of these guys that are trading that we're going to have to anyways.
Right.
So
I want JD here, by the way, guys. I'm not saying I want him off this team.
He's gonna be here. Guy, someone just said AD.
No, come on, bro.
I've literally seen every time I've seen him in
Denver.
not
for us though. They're just saying for the team.
Okay. He holds his ankle. Bones. The broken bones. I don't want no Embiid.
He's Mr. Glass, bro. Yeah.
But yeah. But that's
I don't.
Well, listen.
Yeah. I hope. Listen, bro. I don't listen. I love JD. 48 million is a lot, bro. Like I think Kate is at like what 50 this year.
Yeah.
I think he was a 46 last year and 50 this. Like, come on, bro. Like he was first team All NBA, bro. He was an MVP candidate. Like you were third team. That's great, but it's levels. I'm just saying, bro.
He might get the 40. He might get the 40 million.
That's a lot. That's a lot, bro.
He might get the
40. Okay. 40's cool.
Yeah.
40's cool. I'm with that. Because you want him to be happy here. I don't feel like that's a massive overpay because I do think he's going to get a lot better over these next 3-4 years anyway.
Yes.
So he could definitely earn it for sure. Yeah, I'm not. But 48 is a little too rich, at least for my blood, bro. Not that I have a say, but that's a lot of money.
I don't think it's all going to be for him, and I get it. there truly isn't. And people are like, Kessler, bro, played 20 games last year. You guys were freaking, but LeVert's not healthy.
What did Kessler get? 32 million? He got
Yes.
32, right? Yeah.
Yes, but it's the Lakers. So
Lakers going late. Yeah.
yeah, Lakers
And
going
I could talk
they
bad
haven't
about
learned.
them
They're
'cause LeBron is gone.
like, hey, we tried this with Ayton. Let's just do it again. Let's just do it again. I guess they weren't the ones to do it with Ayton, but they brought
He's
him
better
on.
than Ayton, though.
Yeah, when he's healthy, when he plays.
Yeah.
There's so many people I can say that for. And
Even
JD
when he's not,
did
he's
have-
still better than Ayton.
That's true.
Ayton
Yeah,
is
he
so
could probably be
terrible.
on the bench
He's
just
dog water, bro.
doing
He's the
stuff.
worst.
could probably
Yeah, go
walk
ahead.
the court faster than Ayton would run it. But
Bruh.
but it's
That's a good point too, Mike. That's a good point. This is a good point. We just
We're
talked
gonna
about
keep
how Cade's contract looked big a couple years ago, and now,
Right.
which he still deserved it. And now we got D Mitch getting 60 million to start.
Mhm.
Like 70
And
million
look-
by the end of his contract per year. So 40 is a lot right now. But with JD getting better and with the cap like inflating the way it is and guys getting paid more per year, it may look a lot more normal 3 years from now than it does now. So
Mhm.
that's something to consider too. It's like it's hard to adjust as the cap rises and as these guys start getting paid more. It's easy to just go off what we're used to guys getting.
So
You know, it's hard to adjust in real time. Go ahead.
real quick, Chet Holmgren was signed
Mm-hmm.
to the Supermax. I think it was a huge mistake for the Thunder. Like they finally lost. I think there were a little bit. I think they literally thought that the way that their faces looked when they got eliminated, I really think that they didn't think they were going to lose. Chet Holmgren was signed to a Supermax the same year that Jalen Williams was, and the year after I think SGA was. That's crazy. Like that's when I'd be like, no, he's getting paid next year 41.24.
Chet?
Yes. And
That's
the
a
year
lot,
after
man.
that, 44, and increases up until his last year, he gets paid 54.45. And here's the thing, Chet, I don't think can beat Wemby. I don't think he's going to get good enough to beat Wemby.
No.
I think that they had to draft big guys like Mara, and they'll
That's
have
why
to
they
work
got
on that
Mara, right.
because of it.
Yes.
And that's a guy that they signed to a Supermax. They have to bring in help for a guy they signed in for a Supermax. And that's what we want to avoid. But he has won a championship with them. He has already been a two-time All-Star. He's been a defensive player of the year candidate. JD has been an all-star, hasn't won a championship with us. Chet also fell off a bit in the playoffs.
Probably worse.
I don't want to hear they lost just because Jalen Williams was out, because they have plenty of talent.
AJ Mitchell, McCain. Yep.
And so that's like JD can't, I don't think JD can increase at this rate that Chet is. But I think he can start somewhere and keep it kind of the same. And again, renegotiation can happen. So that's for me, it's just like, Chet has the accolades to back it up. I still think it was a mistake for the Thunder to sign 3 people to the Supermax or whatever it was. Insanity. Like
when
SGA
you're competing
and
for
everybody
championships every year, like when you're coming off a champ, because he got his extension this past year, right?
Yeah, him and Jalen both. Yes, and
they just won a ring, bro. Like
true.
You can't not, like, you know what I mean. You gotta compensate. They got you your first in franchise history.
Yeah,
so it's
true.
like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But I do think that, again, like, I think it will be closer to 40 million for JD, and I do think that they retain him. There's nobody else, I think, in the league right now that can offer him.
Right.
And so, like, when they say that there's enough to send him somewhere and save some money in a sign and trade, I don't think there's a team, like, I guess unless it's the Nuggies, then you got to pay Jokic 400 million next year. You guys want to do that? I mean, Kane and Jokic would be so fun.
Come on, man. What? Like, don't even torture me with that, boss. For sure.
Man.
Don't even do that to me.
But he's the only one I would go for it, like a center, like, because Mobley had to fall off.
Yeah, it's not too many.
Guys.
I'm straight.
So that does freak me out a little bit.
I think 40 is
that they
reasonable for
mention it.
JD. That's wrong.
I think they're just saying it. And I do think, hopefully tomorrow, but hopefully by the end of the week, we just have him signed. And I think some of those moves,
bro.
you guys kind of predicted,
man.
like you guys kind of predicted in the chat, like you talked about at the beginning of the show, that some of these moves were possibly made just to help with the JD signing. And at 48 mil, if we sign him at 40, we sign at 41. If we have 7 to 8 mil left, and then we also buy people out or waive them and bring in one other guy, power, something like that, lose some salary and Dunk or whoever, then it will truly help. It will help us get in that that bigger move. I think we can add a couple if we don't keep Harris and Taurean Prince, or we trade Dunk with a package, and we have this money as well. Could easily get a guy with a 20 million plus contract a year.
Okay. I could feel it. King is still hitting me with updates, y'all. You know, he's
he's
all over X right now.
He's probably texting me too. I just have my phone on Do Not Disturb. Yeah.
I think he already put his video out, I think. So now he's just scouring the X. So my dog is looking out for us. Update says the Pistons have cleared. Wait, what did he say this was? This was before the updates of 40 mil. The Pistons have cleared. Okay, the Pistons have cleared 35 million by offloading the contracts of Isaiah Stewart, Caris LeVert, and Marcus Sasser. Detroit appears to be preparing for a larger move in addition to resolving Jalen Duren's restricted free agency. In addition to that, and that was when the 35 million was cleared. So even more so, I would imagine with the extra 13 million cleared, they're even more so looking to make a larger move in addition to JD. So kind of what you were saying, boss. Yeah. So maybe that was.
Well,
go ahead.
They do say it. They view it as resolving Jalen Duren's restricted free agency. That's vague. It doesn't say to re-sign Jalen Duren.
Making room for him, or
Yes. No.
Good point.
So very vague. I like the wording a little better though, because I think it is going to come to a resolution of him staying with us. Trajan has made that clear. He said it even when there was rumors of JD sign and trade to Kings, Lakers. A few hours later, it's like, no, Pistons are going to match. And here's the thing, and you've said it. King, I've seen, has said it. I mean, I open Twitter. He's on there all the time too. I don't know how you guys do it, but I just read, and it's just straight up. He said that Jalen Duren bet on himself, and like he's gonna come crying back home with nothing. Like, and that's basically what's happened. It's basically, I think, Trajan holding steadfast and having him go out there and discuss with other teams and stuff. Actually, kind of humbled. Maybe not JD, but at least JD's agent to understand.
It's like kind of priced him out, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
So King said he lives there. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, bro. Shout out to King for the updates, man. So yeah,
all of you.
So now it's like, okay, so what's the move now? It looks like JD's going to return. They went from 35 to 48 under the text, and now it's just like, listen, I don't think Trey Murphy's off the table, y'all. Listen, I really think Trajan is aware of this roster more than all of us. He knows we have 8 guards on this team. He knows we have no backup 4. He knows we haven't really truly upgraded the 2 or gotten Kate a number 2. He knows that. So I think these moves, now that we're seeing the dominoes fall, are showing that this is for a bigger move coming. And I'm still holding out hope for Trey Murphy. I am. I still think it's possible. Because if we don't get a guy of that caliber, to me, I'm not very confident going into next season. Like, we can make the Eastern Conference Finals. I know there's going to be internal growth. I know guys are going to get better. But to me, I don't know if that's enough. I would like to think so, but realistically, I don't know if that's enough. I don't know.
Yeah, and thank you for the super chat, Doug. He said, Gore said pay the tax for right move. Will he? This is another thing, guys. Okay. If we go over a little bit and we stay in, Gore said he's willing to do that. And I truly think that, I think it'd be a list of candidates. I think he's given Trajan the go ahead with this team. But I also think that obviously if he's going to pay more in tax, it's going to have some input on it. So I do think that's just another thing to consider, is that we're not, who's the Trailblazers, Dundon or something? That man, cheapskates over there. Man. That's not how we're working. I think that Trajan is being very, I said at the beginning of the show, I think he's being intentional with these small steps to save as much money as possible. And because that just helps us overall. It helps us in the future. Yeah. It just helps us overall. Very keeping things under certain, aprons, because of also who we have to extend next summer and stuff like that. So that is also a possibility. We don't know the full, scope of what Gore's, wants. I did see he made a post, I think it was today, just thanking the Pistons. We saw how much he loved the fans getting involved last year. He's a guy who owned up to mistakes like the Monty Williams signing. So love him or hate him, like he's definitely trying for this team and for the fans. I think he hears us. Yeah. And so I would not be surprised if that is what, that's another possibility. Yeah. So, but now it's just kind of, and I've been saying, like, it's just kind of like, I think I'll just kind of breathe a sigh of relief once JD is signed back, which he will be. Yeah, he will be. I think see them. I think they truly I think that despite how much we might feel about this dragging out a little bit, I think he truly meant it when he said he wants Cade to be his point guard for life. He already has great chemistry with the guys on the team. I think he's a good person, a good player that continues to improve. And I think that's kind of rare in today's, not rare, but for his talent, you can understand why he wants to seek as much money as possible, but he's also not just trashing his team like Hero, like Easton, even though I agree with him tweeting out, I guess so, even though I agree with him.
Right. Right.
So, and he just doesn't seem that kind of way. So,
right.
Optics
like
are
he's
huge.
been very quiet. We haven't heard a peep from JT. You know what I'm saying? Like he's so I want to give him that real quick. I want to get to Harrell Williams' comments that says the 2 is fine. We just need a second star. The question is, where are you going to get that from? Because Cade is the star at the 1. No, the 3 is a star. He's not going anywhere. We just got John Collins. He's going to be the starting 4, and then JD's coming back. So it has to be the 2. Unless you're gonna, there's no wiggle room for you to really go find anywhere else other than the 2 guard. So because we have so many guards on this roster, that needs to be addressed because we are deep at the position as far as having serviceable guys, but we don't have that number 2 that we can count on to be the number 2 for Cade.
Yeah.
And that's where it's gonna have to come from. So,
and that's like, we also, Kuja said too, and I know he's a guy that's big in the community, that he thinks that Harris will be waived once Duren is signed. Like, again, I don't think we're bringing both of these guys in.
No.
If we keep either of them, I want to keep Torian at that cheap price, but he's also, we could waive them both. We could trade one. We could waive one. We're not keeping both. So I do kind of agree with that. And that would also just clear up, that would make it, if Duren is around the 40 million mark, then that would make closer to 12 million in space. And that
to be able to do
and that's without including a player in a package, without other things like that. So like I think that tweet really summed it up, guys, though, as most of you have also felt, is that it's stepping stones for something else. Something bigger. For sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
And that's what I was saying, Harrell. It's like, we just got John Collins to be the likely starting 4. I don't think Trajan didn't want to pay Tobias Harris $15 million to come off the bench.
He didn't want to do 2 years.
Well, that too. But we also know that he got 2 years for $31 million. And we knew that he probably felt like how we did, like he couldn't come back and be the starting 4. So he likely would have been the backup if he were to come here. So if he's not going to give him that, like John Collins is not going to get paid $17 million a year to come off the bench.
Right.
He's going to be the starting 4. Trajan just is not going to commit that money to a bench player. So that's why I think it has to be the 2. It has to be that position because that's the only position where it's not really defined as to like we're not talking like this is going to be the 2. The conversation is who's going to be the 2. So it's like, because since that's the conversation, that's where we need to make the upgrade to get a better slotted guy there for Cade. Go ahead, boss.
That's kind of where I'm at with you. I think it's the 2 needs to be the big move. And then with whatever is remaining or free agency or G Leagues, post summer league signing, we bring in a cheaper backup 4.
Right. Exactly.
Cheaper, big guy.
Yeah. All right. Some quick super chats boss we call tonight, man.
Okay. Thanks guys for being here with us.
Yeah, man.
So nice
Commentary's always great. Y'all know that it's been good vibes.
Deuce and I would have just been talking about this all night anyways. Because I told him, I was like, let me know when you're free to talk. He's like, should we just go live? I'm like, yeah.
Let's just do it. Let's get everybody else involved. You know what I'm saying? Hear from everybody else. They probably got some stuff to share too. What you guys did. Doug says, who is the agent for these guys? Excuse me, Doug.
For what guys? Eason and Duren?
That's funny.
Probably.
That's funny. Camille, what up, Camille? Camille says, I just wanted to write Careless Pervert for the last time. Greetings to Deuce, Sarah, and everyone. Y'all know how you felt about him too, bro. I know it was a rough season last year. You know, it was rough sledding. We'll just leave it there. But yeah, you were at the front of the line with King and some others who are, not easy on him, and rightfully so. And so we'll leave it there on him.
There were certain post games I would come on and I would just tell Deuce, like, Caris got minutes tonight. He didn't do well, and I know it's just gonna be all the comments. And we log on and all the comments were like, well, Caris pervert, careless pervert.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's over.
Zach, I went to school with Kool-Aid. Me and Kool-Aid went to high school together. He was a shooting guard. I was the point guard. Summit Academy. We were balling out back in 2000. We both graduated when the Pistons won in 2004, that championship. So yeah, me and him go way back 20 plus years. That's my guy. Yeah, man. So that's all we. You got anything else, boss? I don't have anything else. That's all I
No,
got.
I'm just thinking like I'm really curious. And again, we're definitely like Summer League is coming up, guys. We're gonna do the post game shows for that. We might go live for one of the games, like the Sunday game. We'll see.
Yeah.
But definitely gonna
it's gonna
take
be tough.
notes. So if you
We'll
guys
see.
are watching, point out what you like and what you don't like. Summer League is a fun time for overreactions and underreactions.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna be here to react and talk about it because I'm excited for some of these to see what some of these young guys can do. It's obviously where I saw Dennis Jenkins for the first time and loved
Yes,
him.
sir.
Same with Deuce. So definitely tune in for those because I definitely want to talk to you guys about it when you've noticed. And who, if the two ways, like we'll talk about maybe what two guys on this team would you sign to two ways right now? Because I'd be really curious about that. That's coming up. Yeah,
we can talk Summer League real quick. We can talk a little Ibuka real quick. I'm seeing a lot of Ibuka chatter in here. Cade is the 2, and the point guard split between Dennis and Ibuka. Interest. I think Cade's gonna be the one. To be honest, I could be wrong. I think Cade's gonna be the point guard.
I think
he's
it.
shown. I mean, he made first team All NBA as a point guard. So I don't know. I don't know about that. But First Black says, don't be surprised if Okori is the Robin to Cade's Batman and Trajan knows it. So do you think that this is just part of the building process and we're not all in on trying to win this year? And we're just trying to get maybe to the conference finals and give Ibuka a year or two to get comfortable and then unleash him? First Black Man, is that kind of what you're seeing as far as him being that number 2 that we're talking about? Because if you feel that way, then how does that work with Trey Murphy? If we bring somebody like him in, I see what you're saying. I think Ibuka has a lot of talent. I think he could be a really good NBA player. Yeah. The question is, how soon? And not to say that he's not ready to contribute, but to be that guy. How soon are you expecting him realistically to get to that point, First Black? That's my only question with that, as far as with the long game is with that. Go ahead, boss.
And again, someone we haven't mentioned that is another 2 spot that popped off in the G League last year, and we didn't get to, especially towards the end, but we didn't get to see a lot of him get minutes, is Chaz Lanier. We gave him a year to develop. Yes, I love him. I hope we keep him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in a package for a bigger guy if needed, but I would love to keep him. Yeah. So that's just another thing is like, does Chaz, because Trajan has been big on these guys got us here, and I'm not saying that. I just think it would be considered a little bit like if Chaz is looking good in Summer League, which we'll discuss if he is he the first one called up than Ibuka? But he was also, but Chaz was the 2nd round pick. True. But he's had a whole year to develop. So, and that's, we talked about, I brought it up multiple times. Like, this is the first time in a while we haven't had to use a rookie right away because we weren't just bad and trying everything. Like, we gave these guys some time to adjust and everything. So I'm curious to see how he does. So that's just another question of then is Chaz, is it a Cade and Danis starting lineup? If Trey's the 3, or then is it an Ibuka Chaz, Ibuka Isaiah Joe? Like we got so many guards. For as much as we've done, guys, I know. For as much as we've done, there's still so many opportunity within our lineup. That's exciting. Like, let's get excited about that for a little bit. And I think that's what's exciting about Summer League. And yes, there are overreactions to Summer League all the time. But then there's underreactions, or no, you were right about this guy, like Danis. There are guys like Ron was hitting threes like freaking crazy. And then towards the end of the season, we saw him get more efficient in that area.
He was looking scary in Summer League last year, but it's,
if Chaz is looking good, if Ibuka are looking good, I'm going to be excited about that because that's just showing just more opportunity in this roster where we've already brought in some better shooters like Joe and Collins, who I think are locked into the lineup no matter what. But then, like you said, like, where does that leave Duncan? Does that leave Ibuka for a year of development? Is Chaz still developing, or is he going to be traveling with us more and not so that's what I'm most excited about. G League is kind of, I think we'll have more answers to that. But I also, like, to be honest, I haven't seen Chaz handle the ball up the court much. I think that's him. And Trajan even said this in his first game. Like, we need somebody who can help take that load off. So maybe he comes in as our microwave, how Sass has been before. Maybe that's his role for the next year, and we keep it Isaiah Joe or Ibuka or Danis next to him because those guys can bring the ball up, you know?
Okay, I can see that. First Black comes back and says, exactly, it may be Trajan's overall plan. Talk about Okori. Okori's upside is ridiculous. I'm just saying, dude. So Okori about to be a problem, maybe sooner than we think. Yeah, no, listen, I listen. If it is, I'm with it because I like him a lot. I like him a lot. I think Insella actually talked about a game I was just about to mention. Look up if you guys. I talked to you guys last show. Look up Ibuka Okori's game against I think it was Virginia Tech or Virginia. I think she may be right about Virginia. They were down like double-digit points like 2 minutes ago. He came back and took that game over and hit a huge three from like 35 feet away to end the game and put it in to get the win by 1. Like it was crazy. Like he's got scary potential. He does. It's just the learning curve is different for everybody. It's just different for everybody. So it's just like it's a lot to ask of a rookie to come in year 1, even year 2, and be that guy for a team that's already won 60 games and has aspirations of getting to the conference finals even more. You know, so we'll see. We'll see.
And
I think he can get there. Go ahead.
We saw a team like Michigan have multiple guys drafted, 4 in the first round.
I think it was like 3 in the top
Mara
12.
Yaxel, the one that went to the Mavs. What's Yorez or Morez? But they had a lot. But like who's Ibuka was the only Stanford, I believe. Yeah. And so now he's in the NBA where we're on a team with multiple all-stars. Like I think he'll have to adjust to the fact that he doesn't have to do it all.
Exactly. Yeah, his usage.
There'll be some adjustment for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, and I don't think it's going to be a competition between him and Danis. I think that Danis can move to the 2. I think that Ibuka, I think it's still Danis over him. And right now, I don't know. We have a lot of unanswered questions, and it's going to be really fun as Summer League goes on, especially after Summer League, to get your guys' input on who you would put who would you put as the backup for guys like Cade or no at the 2.
Yeah, I think when we were here with King last, we did a poll for who should be the starting 2 between Danis, Isaiah Joe, Kevin Huerter, and Duncan Robinson. I think Isaiah Joe won. I think he had the highest percentage, and I think it was Dunk, and then it was Danis, and then it was Huerter at the bottom, I think. But yeah, McLemore, he does like his usage is crazy, and he does not turn the ball over. Y'all know I love my assist turnover ratio. You don't turn that ball over, man. Without having other viable options on the court with him, with having 10 defensive eyes on him every time down, with his usage being crazy, he still had that ball in the string. He still didn't turn it over. So
great point too.
Having other guys out there with him, like Cade or Danis or whoever you want to have, it's just going to help him and help whoever he's out there with. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah. So I do think, especially just talking about it, there is a lot of options. We have like a lot of young talent. That's also kind of my reason of why, if we have to give up 3 first-round picks for the upcoming years for a certain player that we want, sure. Because look at all the young talent that we have, and we can feed off of our J League team, which we have done successfully before. It's what OKC has done, things like that. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And you're excited about you had a hot take that you think UGonna is going to be.
I'm going to say this
than most people think.
Yeah. I think he's going to spend more time with the Pistons than he does the Crews this year.
Interesting. Even with Tolu.
Yeah, I do. Like even if he doesn't play, I think he's going to be with the team.
Okay.
I think Tolu's going to be helpful for this team this year too.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. I'll just say this: Summer League. I'm looking forward to watching him and Ibuka in the pick and roll.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun. Yeah. Having that lob threat, because we know that Ibuka has the ability in the half court, somewhere we struggled with last year. He is great in the half court. He's able to get to wherever he wants, whenever he wants, and do whatever he wants to do. Right. Yeah. So I think at least in Summer League, he and UGonna are going to be a nice tandem to watch. You might see a lot of lobs between those two, or whoever, or even Chaz, because if they pack the paint, you're going to have Chaz wide open, right? You're going to have options. So I'm looking forward to seeing Ibuka run the offense because he's used to doing it. And I think UGonna is going to be the one that eats the most from that. Okay. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. So we're excited. The first game is on Thursday, right? The 9th?
Yes, the 9th.
5:30 Eastern, I believe. Yeah.
I tried to tell you, bro. I told you from the beginning of the year that Sass was not going to play a lot.
Sass,
as talented as talented. Yes, it's not even about that. I love Sass. As talented as he was, it was just not what Trajan Langdon said he wanted. It's because he didn't draft him, and that's not a shot to him. But it's just Trajan's looking for very particular guys, and Sass just did it. I told you beginning of the year he ain't gonna play him, right? I told you. I said he ain't gonna play him.
I disagree.
He didn't get a chance to really play.
I think I disagree with that take a little bit, only because they were really hyping him up in his new role with the Pistons before the season started, and then he had that hip injury. And I genuinely think that once Danis came in and Trajan saw another vision, that's kind of what he ran with. I don't think that they had any intention of not playing Sasser, but that hip injury really impeded him at the beginning of the season. And now, like we just talked about, we're just deep at that spot right now. It didn't feel like that last year, but it definitely feels more like that this year. And Sass, I'm pumped for him. I want him to learn from Kyrie. I want him to get more minutes out there. He's going to have so much fun with Flag. I hope that that's where he gets minutes. I was rooting for him too, especially after the Nuggets waived Jalen Pickett or didn't pick up his option. I was kind of hoping that Sass would end up in Denver because I think that he would, the way that Denver plays and how they just need a spark sometimes, and a guy other than Murray to handle the ball up the court, I think he would have been a really good fit. So maybe there's still time. Maybe Mavs will get it.
And took his minutes. Yeah, when I heard about them pushing him as a point guard, I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work though. That's when I knew, because he's not a point guard. He's not a point guard. So it's like, yeah, you can hype him up and all this all you want, but unless he has been playing point guard his whole life, bro, that's not what he's a bona fide, pure professional scorer. So when they said, yeah, you're going to try and point guard, no, this ain't going to work. That's when I knew, like, no, this ain't going to work, bro. But, hopefully for his sake, he gets the opportunity now in Dallas to ball out. Yeah. What we say all year, boss, last year, like, I don't want to see him rotting on the bench.
No.
Getting DNPs. And it was unfair to him, for me, to throw him out in the playoffs when he hadn't really played all year. He produced. He gave us some offense against the Cavs, but it was an unfair ask for him to get thrown in like that and try to be effective the way he did. So I'm glad he's going to get a chance now with the Mavs, with hopefully a consistent opportunity, like you said, with Kyrie, to learn and be able to grow and become a better player. So, but yeah, shout out to Sass, man, and everybody who.
I'm pretty sad about that. It did get confirmed today, of course. With that, King updated us that he is going to the Mavs. It wasn't confirmed. I mean, there was no confirmation or even like speculation from any of the main media either. Mostly came from Detroit media. So now it is confirmed in that trade, which is kind of crazy that we made all of our moves basically through one trade minus the Isaiah Joe one, I believe. But, but it ended up saving. And guys, again, like slow and steady, it ended up doing that, ended up saving us a lot of money for us to make other moves. So,
so it explains. So like Trajan's like the guy that like is very quiet and then a bunch of stuff happens. That's kind of like because everybody's like, why is there no movement? And then he's involved in this 11-team trade, and it's like, oh, all right. So that's why I'm just kind of cooling right now, because even though we're still like, we're not complete and we know we're not, it's just like he's showing now like, okay, he works at it, he goes at his own pace. Like he's getting stuff done, but it's just we gotta be a little bit more patient for it. So
that was my kind of thing, just coming on here to talk to you guys about too, is because again, I was on Twitter and Reddit, probably the worst places to be, and people are just like, because all weekend I'd be like, where are you? And today's a good day for a move. Trajan's just sleeping. All these other people are making moves, all this stuff, blah, blah. And then we make a move and people are like, well, that's not it. That's like, oh, mid. Oh, this is like, guys, expand.
July 7th, bro.
And look, now we got it in writing, because apparently everyone needed it in writing from reporters that, hey, guys, this is for something else. Just so you know.
So just so you know.
Y'all are just traumatized from some Dumars and
Brad Holmes. I get it.
Freaking King loves to bring in the Brad Holmes comparisons.
I have to talk him off the ledge all the time, because like, bro, this is not that. He be calling him Trajan Holmes, and then he go and do something like, I told you gotta chill, bro. Stop. But God. I get it. He taught me all too. Last comment, we out of here, guys. David says, just tuned in, so I apologize if this already been addressed. Will the Pistons hold on to both players from the Bucks, or will they cut them? Gary Harris, I would imagine, will be the guy that is cut or moved on from or bought out, whatever. I think Taurean Prince, because he's not a shooting guard, would be the guy to stick, because he's bigger, he's more versatile of a defender on both sides. He shoots the three better, and he's got a little bit 43% last year. So I think that's the guy they keep, and I think Gary Harris is the guy who may move on. So all right, guys. Okay, that's all you got. Okay, we're gonna end it there, guys. right on the nose of 2 hours. We appreciate you guys for showing up, as you guys always do. But that is the latest. We started this show talking about Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert is no longer a Piston. He has moved on to the Milwaukee Bucks along with 2 second-round picks, and the Pistons get back in return Taurean Prince and Gary Harris, and we will see which of those 2 guys, if neither or both, stick. But we think it's going to be Taurean Prince is the guy that is kept. Also, the Pistons have made a ton of room under the luxury tax at $48 million to be able to potentially bring JD back and make another move after that. So we'll wait and see what that move is as well. But guys, we appreciate you as always, man. If anything of note happens, we will be right back here to talk about it. And we appreciate you guys for showing up. So with that, guys, hope you guys have a great night. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and hit this like button, hype button, all that stuff. And we love you guys, and we'll see you guys next show. And y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
Welcome to the dog pound. Yeah.
I'm scared of these damn Pistons. I'm very concerned.
Screaming, cheer it. Yeah, I cry loud, cause I see the guy now. We off the leash, and we not coming in peace. This is Detroit when we step on the court. Be afraid when you see the motorcade, watch below. When you see us soaring, Jalen, Duren. Pick your poison, all gonna war when Dana's a song. Be afraid. Yeah, I cry loud, cause you know we got now. We off the leash and we not coming in peace. This is Detroit when we step on the court. Be afraid when you see the motorcade, watch below. When you see us soaring, Jalen, Duren. Pick your poison, all gonna war with them Highlander song. Be afraid. It's the dog pound.